So press enter or something to use the whole screen. Something went so fast I couldn't see it.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, it's the Harveys.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
Where's our picture?
Usually the control panel's on. There you go.
Yep.
We got it now. How y'all doing?
Good. We're good.
Good.
Getting
That's
ready to
good.
go camping with the grandsons this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Boy.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yogi Bear Jellystone.
Oh, that is our daughter's favorite. We go there all the time.
Yeah, we have one about an hour north of us in the Adirondack Mountains.
Yeah,
and,
we've got one just south of us by what, 35, 40 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
I
Probably.
think. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
We actually have 3 in our area.
Yeah.
Do you?
A couple
Yeah.
of others that are a little further away, an hour and a half or 2 hours away, but they're
Yeah.
all 3 nice parks.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and you know, we asked the kids where do they want to go, and we've taken them to a couple different places, and that's where they wanted to go.
Yeah.
So, and there's
Yeah.
Jan again. Hey, Jan.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm gonna Jan Leduc. I came up with this after our last one. Jan, what do you have again? What's your year?
79.
And it's a
30p.
what? 30p.
30p.
Okay, so I thought I would do this because then we have it on the bottom of each person's thing. Yep. Jeff and Cindy. And Jeff and Cindy, yours is a...
It's a 1974, just a 23-footer. It has no model.
Right. Oh, here's somebody new.
We just got back from our trip Thursday.
Yeah, you must have, right?
Yeah, we got back Thursday. The Great Lakes, Mackinac City, and all that was wonderful.
Hi, Daryl. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And Daryl, remind me again, what do you have? What year?
It's a 1975 travel Cater.
What footage? How long?
I think it's 20. I think it's a 25 foot.
25 and a half or 25?
I think it's 25 foot from what I can tell. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we just dropped it today. Actually, a guy who's pretty highly recommended in Houston for working on them. There's somebody in one of the groups has used him before, so he's kind of old school, and I think he's I think he knows what he's doing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, just
that's always a good first step.
Yeah,
just trying to make sure it's safe, road safe. You know, we put new tires on it, and he's going to put new
pack the
bearings and all that.
Check the brakes,
and then we can get to the other cosmetic stuff. You know.
Okay, now, and I apologize, but you know I'm over 60, and so I cannot remember your pretty lady sitting next to you there. The name is again?
Crystal.
Crystal. With a K or a C?
With a K.
I'm doing this so that we can rename and we have the models on there.
Perfect.
Of course, I should do mine. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Everybody knows what you have, Louisa.
Yeah.
Got the big one.
8732S, the rare baby.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
With the dining room in the middle, right?
Yeah, we have the living room in the middle.
Front.
The living room in the middle. That's
And
what
Jeff
I
and-
Kitchen's in the front.
You guys
And then there's what we call the parlor is in the middle, and then a middle bath, and then two twins in the rear. And our year in particular, why we like the 87 32S is it has the same window configuration in the rear bedroom as you have in the front.
Nice.
So we have basically like literally maybe a foot worth of wall space on either end of the bed, and everything else, sides and rear, is all windows. So it
That's
feels
cool.
like an airstream.
Yeah.
Great,
It's
Shut
very
your mouth.
open and airy, and you know, when you're backed up to the Grand Canyon, you can see everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I just want to catch up. We have somebody on with an iPhone. Can you identify yourself?
Oh, yes. Sorry. I didn't put my name. My name's Lisa.
Lisa, and
Yes.
what year Avion do you have?
I have a 76.
And how many feet?
28 feet.
28. Okay.
LeGrand or?
Is it a, yeah, LeGrand or a Travelcator?
LeGrand.
LeGrand. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was going to do the video, but I didn't get ready in time. So
That's all
I'm
right.
recording the video.
So you can, it's okay. You can be anonymous and be sitting there in your bathrobe and PJs. And we won't know. And here comes Cassie. And I'm thinking this is Cassie Paddington. Let's give her Padding. Let's give her a chance to get in here. Hey, Cassie.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Can you get your video going? There, we're getting there. Oh, perfect. Okay, there she is. All right. And Cassie, your year is a 75?
No.
No. What year is yours, Cassandra?
1971.
61?
71.
71. Okay. And it's a 25 foot?
Yeah, 25 foot.
Okay. I just thought that might help as people people see who's on and stuff. So I always say I have to act kind of like a one-armed paper hanger here, because I'm working the mouse and I'm admitting people in and renaming them and all that jazz. Jeff and Cindy, you just got back from a big tour, including the rally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coincidentally, Kevin and I spent half of Sunday planning a 3.5 week, what we're calling our Great Lakes tour for 2021.
Very nice.
And
Nice.
we're gonna cross over Ogdensburg, New York State into Ottawa, and then basically mosey through the pasture land up to Sault Ste. Marie.
Right. We went up there on the American side.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Sault Ste. Marie. Yeah.
Yep. And then we're gonna stay up in Ontario. Pancake Bay is highly recommended.
Oh.
And the
Nice.
way we planned our tour, we'll hit every one of the, we'll be camping on every one of the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have set foot in all 5 Great Lakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
the last two on this last trip.
Yeah, we
so.
hit Huron and Superior on this trip. They were the last 2 we needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we did that. Yeah. It was great fun.
And Cassandra's lucky because she's in Holland, Michigan, so she only has the equivalent of a hop, skip, and a jump compared to most of us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're 4 minutes from the lake.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long ways for us. We're in Texas.
Well,
Oh,
and
They don't even
And
know what
I'm
a
in-
lake looks like in Texas.
no,
Yeah.
especially
and
not
I'm
a
actually
clean
in New
one.
Orleans.
Yeah.
Conroe, like
Yeah.
Not
close.
even that, it's half an hour. Yeah.
30 minutes. Yeah, Lake Conroe for 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not quite as big as the.
It's,
them,
it's
but-
no.
No, no.
In Texas, so there's only one natural lake, and it's Cattle Lake. Every other lake in Texas is
Is all
man-made. It's just a
Yeah,
dam
that's right.
blocking a river.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's why most of them are just big mud puddles.
Yeah, and they are. They are. You can sometimes go in and come out dirtier than when you went in.
That's true.
Like, yeah, nasty.
Inks Lake is pretty nice though.
Dirtier, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah.
Inks Lake
Uh-oh.
is pretty
Kevin
nice.
and I have to be good now. Our former owner of our Avion is on.
Oh, really?
Dave.
Oh, okay.
And Dave's got an 87, 34. VW, which is it, Dave?
Got sure you do.
A little bit, yeah.
Dave, is your audio on?
No, it's not. It doesn't look like it is.
Oh, no, he's
Is-
not.
Can't hear him.
He looks like my uncle from Ireland. I'm getting worried here.
Well, they say everybody's got a double somewhere.
Yeah,
I think his is a W. He'll correct me.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Dave, is yours a 34W or a V?
Victor B.
Oh, it's a V. All right. Well, I got to fix that.
Mine's a
Okay.
big boy.
Looks just like him.
All right. There we go. Okay.
Evening, everybody.
Great. All right. So let's see. We have some seasoned folks and we have a couple new folks too. And we had asked, as some of you saw, we asked, for suggestions on topics, got some good ones. Some take a little more preparation than others, especially since I was not at all in front of the 8 ball and posted all this like with a day's notice. So we're gonna do kind of first timer travel tips. Nothing about restoration tonight, because that's like chapters and volumes, but more about travel tips, especially if you're just getting started out. What's some important gear that like is kind of the must-have, and then the second tier gear and the third tier gear, and then once you get everything and you just want some toys, that kind of stuff. But certainly Crystal and Daryl, they just bought theirs a couple of months ago, right, guys?
Yeah, probably months ago. And then we've not been able to do much because we had the door that we had to have fixed.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he bent it back, and it's functional, so that's all we care about.
Yeah.
We can be safe. We can lock ourselves in at night. We don't have to worry about any one coming in. So that's the main thing. But so now we've just dropped it at an RV repair because nothing's been tested on it. We bought it without testing anything.
So we want to hear about all the first thing,
Yeah, we need to hear all this information because we want to go as soon as possible.
Okay.
Is this your first trailer?
Correct.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Oh, okay. First trailer ever.
That's fun.
Okay, well, you picked like the best trailer you could
Birthdays.
buy, so you're good there.
That's
Cool.
right. That's right. You didn't buy a piece of cardboard that's gonna fall apart as it rattles down the road. So that's good.
Yeah.
That was the first good decision.
I always wanted an Airstream, but I could not afford one. So this was the next best thing for us. I found it and I was like, it's close. I've never seen one like within an hour of our house. So
So
we're
you
gonna
actually found something better than an Airstream.
Right.
Yeah.
For a better price.
Open up the whole, like these groups and stuff. It's just a whole world of really cool stuff. So we're
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
So
Yeah.
we saw it online on the way on the camping trip, and a friend of ours actually called us and said, "Hey, we're gonna trade you this truck for some paintings." And we were like, "That's great! I'm buying an Airstream, or I'm buying something. I'm buying a trailer." And so, on the way to the camping trip, I found this Avion, and then we went and looked at it on the way home, and then we bought it the next
and
day.
now I'm seeing them everywhere. I saw one in Corpus Christi. And I'm like taking pictures of it. Like, there's one there.
Yes, that is what some people refer to as, you've caught the bug.
Yeah.
Because you would not have noticed them until you own one or are looking for one. Normally it's after you own it. When you're looking for one, they're hard to find.
Exactly.
But Kevin and I do the same thing, especially when we're in rural areas where people tend to have, enough yard or acreage that they can like just kind of shove stuff that they've forgotten about out on the lawn.
Yeah.
We take turns. I mean, whoever's not driving, it's like you're responsible for looking behind barns, in between houses and barns.
Yeah.
And if you see one, you got to point it out. And yeah, I mean, it is funny because we never would have looked for them either.
No.
It's so precious. Like, because, not talking about repair, but obviously parts are rare and stuff. So I'm curious, when I drove it today to take it to be worked on, like every little bump or movement, I'm just, looking every mirror, Like, at what point does that wear off?
We're
not
not
working
about 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Been okay? Is she okay? You know?
Well,
You'll get to where once you're confident with the frame and the running gear and your hitch process, then you'll get to where, I look in my mirror. I actually spend probably when I'm driving down the road, I spend probably as much time looking in my side view mirrors as I do out the windshield.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching for other traffic and I'm checking to make sure that the awning's not coming open or the door's not coming open or the steps not coming out. I mean, we were on one trip on our way to Albuquerque headed west, and the wind was blowing so hard from the south, blowing right under the trailer, that it was literally blowing our step open.
Yeah.
And it was hooking that little piece of bent aluminum under the step.
Yeah.
And it was literally blowing it out from the trailer. And it actually was flexing that piece of aluminum and started to crack it. So I ended up putting a strip of aluminum across there in order to stabilize that. But I've never been in a wind that was so strong that it was blowing the step open like that from underneath the trailer.
Wow.
I'm curious, and I'm sorry if I'm not hijacking things here, but my tow hitch, obviously all vehicles are different. I'm in a Ford F-150, and I'm wondering if it's too high up. I probably need to invest in a lower. Do you guys use like a lower kind of hitch puller? Or?
Well, I have an adjustable
Okay.
ball on the trailer on the receiver. I've got an adjustable hitch so that I can locate it up or down and kind of get the best thing. You obviously, if you can, you want to tow the trailer in a level position. If it's tipped back too far, you're putting too much stress on the back wheels and the tires. And if it's tipped forward too far, you're putting too much stress on the front tires if you have a dual axle.
Yeah, I definitely recommend a weight distribution set if you're seeing any type of like bend in your vehicle. Like your trailer and your truck should be even. So it shouldn't have like a dip in the front and it shouldn't look like it's got like a ramp like it's going to go.
What'd you say?
Did it come through?
Yeah, most of it came through.
Yeah.
You can literally take
going level.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you hitch it up and go to the most level place you can find and literally take a yardstick and measure right from the, at the front side of the trailer, measure down to the macadam, and then go to the back of the trailer, measure down to the macadam.
Okay.
And then from your
trailer for that year, that's 75, your ball height should be 19 inches. There's a couple websites you can enter on to do the mathematics, because you're going to take your truck on a level spot. You're going to measure, select where your hitch will go in.
Okay.
Receiver. You're going to measure the top and do the mathematical, how much drop you'll need.
Yeah, to catch it. Yeah.
To catch it. So you can enter that formula in, because I don't have a Ford, so I don't know how much drop you would have.
19 inches from the ground to the top of the ball hitch?
Yep. On your trailer, your ball hitch should be 19 inches. And if you look at the owner's manual for 75, 73s, we'll say 19 inches.
Okay.
So that's your known point on the ball hitch. Then you take your truck measurement and go on different websites, and they'll give you how much drop for the ball to be in.
Line it up, because it's definitely a bit higher,
Yeah, and that's will give you a starting point.
Yeah.
Where do you start off to drop your ball on?
That's going to affect your tow too when you're towing, especially at distance. If you're uneven, you will definitely feel it in all of how you're pulling. You need to get the best pull. You're going to need to get that as level as can. And that weight distribution we find helps with the sway too. Like we find that like it's not a sway bar, but it definitely affects like if we don't have it hooked up versus when we do, they don't get a lot of sway.
I was going to ask if anybody used those sway bar things. So you recommend those? Everybody recommends those?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We had an equalizer hitch on our 73, which was a 28 foot. I think most people do have some kind of sway control equalizer type of
So how
Yeah,
far-
we have the
Okay.
weight distribution, but we don't have an actual sway bar. But we have had no issues, even with long distance, without having the extra sway bar
Mhm.
in place. Now with our Jayco, when we had a big giant box trailer, we had that, and I absolutely swear by it. But yeah, it's definitely worth getting.
I believe
There's
like
good
4 times.
websites for that on the Equalizer website and videos. The idea is you're going to get your truck, you're going to, on level ground again, you're going to measure your truck at the wheel wells, the height, unloaded on level ground. Then you can hook up your trailer and make it the difference of the measurements you take with a tape measure. And
Yeah.
on those bars, you can adjust them to bring the back of your truck back up and bring down your front. So you're trying to get back to as much level as pre-unloaded level when it's unloaded nice and straight.
Yes.
And you can work on that by adjustments and stuff. But the idea is a slight 1/4 inch in the front and about 1/2 inch or so return back into the
So lower is what you're saying. Lower, 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch lower.
yeah, but the idea is you're trying to get back to the most
Make it level.
level.
Yeah.
If say your back is unloaded weighs its measurement is 39 and your front is 37, you're trying to get back to that level by adjustments on your hitch and your weight distribution to send it back forward or back and forth. Try to get that
Okay.
back nice and level.
How far out did everyone go on their maiden trip, their first trip?
Okay.
Did you say you forgot?
Oh, come on.
Not very far. We probably went 20 miles.
3 months.
Yeah, we have to think back quite a ways. I mean, our
We
first
bought it
little,
in
our first
Albuquerque and
little
drove it
trailer.
home
Yeah, but
with the
are you-
Avion.
well, I thought she was referring to our first camping trip ever with the trailer.
No, with the Avion, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely. I mean, it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
our first trip with the Avion, we actually went to Albuquerque from Dallas, Texas to buy it and then towed it home.
Wow.
So,
Fine.
and actually when we bought it, the guy that was selling us the trailer, he sold us the trunnion bars with it, but he wouldn't sell us the hitch. So he said, "Oh, you don't need the hitch and the special hitch." He said, "Just put a ball hitch in there. Here, I got one of those, and you'll be fine." So I said, "I don't think so." But anyways, we towed from his house. I towed it back into town, and I told Cindy, "We're not going back to Dallas this way." So we stopped at an RV parts place, and I went in there and I showed him the trunnion bars I had, and I said, "Do you have a receiver that's going to work with these?" He went, dug around, and he ended up finding one. Took him about 30 minutes in his back room, but he found one for us, and so we were able to hitch up and use the trunnion bars that came with and that makes a huge difference. And so we don't have an actual friction anti-sway bar on ours either. We just use the trunnion bars, which are both weight distributing, and they provide some sway control because you've got a cup that sits on a cradle, and that does provide some stability and sway control. And we never have any trouble towing it with our Ford Expedition. I just set the cruise control at 71 or 72 on the freeway, and it just goes.
Wow.
I'm working up to that.
No
bloody-
way, Jose. I'm like 60. No, nothing above 60. I'm like freaked out.
Yeah.
Matt hits 75 on the highway all the time with our Avion.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got that AmeriCard. He can do that.
I drive 75 when I'm passing
But
semis and things.
still, those poor babies, the speed limit was 50 and 55 when those babies were built. They're not
Hey, though, you know what, that-
70 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm like
suspension
60.
system,
Not speed.
That Moride guy said that ours was like the best system he had seen the whole day there, and he was like, "It's in pristine condition and it's 50 years old."
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
That's
So
awesome.
how many of you guys were at that recent event then?
We had 29 Avions.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
Every size, model
Oh, sugar.
you can
It was really
think
cool.
of, pretty much.
Yeah.
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 That's cool. And everyone does everyone kind of go in and out and just check out each other's trailers.
Yep.
We did
So
do
tip-
some of that, yep.
Yep.
Typically on a Saturday, we would always do like an open house where everybody opens all their trailers. Obviously, COVID hit this year. But I would say at least 80% of people still had their trailers available to look in. And we just tied a yellow ribbon on the front if we were okay with people coming in to see it. So that way people felt comfortable with who could come in.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah. And actually what we did was we just put our yellow ribbon out right from the start, because my theory was I wanted to actually pace my visitors over the course of the 4 days we were there, rather than have like everybody glom in at one time, you know, in a 4-hour period. So it worked out just fine.
Yeah, we did the same thing too. We hung our ribbon right away.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But it is a really cool way, not only obviously to meet everybody, but you know, to just see different little or big, you know, things that people have done decoration wise, equipment wise. You know, one guy had a bottle of the Illumigard spray stuff that somebody had just talked about on one of the forum sites. And so he's out there like a showman, you know, a salesman doing a little demo.
He bought stock in Illumigard.
It's just fun, you know.
Yeah, you definitely learn a lot at the rallies. Like, it's cool to meet and see all the other Avions and learn. But like, I feel like the thing that we really love is like we learn a lot. Like every year we've gone, which has only been 2 years, but like both years we've gone, I should say, we've learned like a lot and been able to take like cool things home of like different things we've been able to do with our trailers. So you definitely like, it's definitely worth going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now, for new, do you know what kind of I mean, Daryl, what kind of hitch are you just like literally cupping your front of your Avion onto your hitch ball and going?
Got told off
I'm
today.
embarrassed to say
We
something.
got told off today.
Well, he didn't tell me. The guy's a really cool guy, and but when we bought it off this man, he's like, oh yeah, that's fine, yeah, blah blah blah.
2-inch.
And I have the thing where you can rotate different size balls, you know, hitch. And he said, yeah, that's the right one. Well, when I got to the place today, this guy's an expert. He went, that's the wrong. Oh, you should have been on a 2 1/4 or something. And this thing, I said, I don't know how it didn't come off. And I'm like, but it had the chains on, and I put a lock on it so it wouldn't. I mean, I really yanked it and checked it, like it wasn't going off. But he told me it was too small. The ball, it was a 2-inch ball.
Yeah.
That's too small.
What about the owner to use?
The previous owner said that's what I've used,
but then he's saying we should be using a bigger one.
So, do you guys all have a bigger? You have the biggest.
2 5/16" ball.
Maybe that's what he said. Probably what he said. It's definitely more bigger than 2.
Yes.
So is your hitch the type that, I don't know on the 75s, forgive me, but like, is it the one that kind of slides up and back when you release it?
Yes.
So you know about the little pin that you're supposed to put either a bolt or a pin into the side? There's a little hole.
Yeah, so I put a padlock in that, so it couldn't move. So
you don't have the pin.
I had a small trailer before years ago, just a little box trailer for storing stuff, and there was a lock that went through 2 holes, sideways 2 holes, and this this thing, it could kind of.
It's really like it goes back and like comes up or something. It does some.
Yeah. So there's like a little tiny side hole versus like the top hole that there normally is.
On the driver's side, just below where that coupler is, just behind the coupler, on the driver's side on the frame, you should see a very small, it's about the size of a pencil diameter. Oh, Cassie's going to show you. It's right there.
That's
it. So this, when you put the butt hitch on, you're going to lift this back up.
Yes.
Put it on. Sometimes we have to use a bar to kind of like get this down in there, even though it's loose. And then we use this.
Yep.
So we use just a little pin that we slide in here. And then that prevents it from, even though it still will lift and move, it will not slide back. So you can still lift it, but it won't slide back. So it's still locked on.
And that's what I did. I bought a set to.
This is still locked.
Yeah.
But the minute you take this out, the minute you take that out, then this whole mechanism slides all the way back.
Yes, I found my car back a little. Get it tag on there. I couldn't get it on, but yeah, I put a padlock in that today, so
Padlock in the hole.
in the hole, so it
That's
wouldn't move.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure
I
that
did.
you're also lubing up that ball and underneath that coupler.
Ah.
What do you lube it with?
Is it just like a any old?
Vaseline?
He'll tell you.
Good grease.
I like a marine grease because you can get a lot of water and spray in there.
Yeah.
Marine grease, so you get a rubber glove, grease up in there, and
Yeah.
you can spray white lithium grease around the top. You know, just make sure it's cleaned up. But you want that all nice and lubed so it moves nice and easy, so it doesn't rust
Yeah.
down there. And what that pinhole does, you have the ball, and that coupler comes down and underneath. It comes back underneath the ball, the
Yep.
height that hits against there and pushes up here, and that
Locks
locks it in. That pin keeps this from going up, so
Yeah.
it stays on here.
Yeah.
Because I guess back in the day they assumed, oh, that's good enough.
Yeah, I was not even aware.
They weren't going 70 miles an hour.
Exactly. Never.
Seatbelts, you know, who needs seatbelts? You know.
Well, I wasn't even aware that there was a pin for it. So yeah, I've learned something new. I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
take a look at mine.
Yeah.
And not all of them. I'm not sure when they stopped doing that. Because I don't think we have one on the 87.
No,
I would guess
Ours
Yeah,
the
it's different
74
for
has it.
4.
Yeah, I bet though you could drill one in. I bet if
No.
there's
Oh,
not
sure.
one there,
There
you
was
could
one.
drill one in.
There's no reason to do that on ours.
No.
no.
No, on the 87s, no.
We
But,
have them on top.
I mean, just a point of reference. Now, Terry and Bernie, who ran the Avion rally, they've had this is their second, I think, Avion. They've owned Avions for well over 10 years. And when we were at the Tin Can Tourist rally last year, last June in Dearborn, Michigan, or Milford, Michigan, excuse me, we happened to mention that, and Terry's like, "What are you talking about?" We're like, "Yeah, you got a pinhole there. You can put a lock or a bar through there." He's like, "No." He comes back 5 minutes later. He goes, "Oh my God!" He said, "I've owned this thing for 7 years, and I had no idea that thing was there." Curtis Parrish, if you want to share that information, Curtis Parrish, who's
To come off. Like, wouldn't you? I mean, like, really? Like, it's a very heavy.
oh no,
Yeah.
You
Oh,
hit-
they will come off.
they will come
It will
off.
come off.
I've seen them come off.
Yeah,
on the
you
interstates.
hit. We had a box trailer jump our ball one time.
Trailer.
You hit a hard enough bump, and
My parents just lost they didn't lose their boat, but their boat bounced off the hitch and came back into the truck on the boat trailer. So it definitely will pop off no matter how heavy it is.
that's
Yeah.
what happened with our box trailer. $1,500 later to the tailgate of our Cherokee.
Maneuver.
Well, that was a maneuver. That was to avoid an accident. But,
Yeah, we saw a trailer.
Curtis give U-Haul.
pardon me, Dave?
U-Haul. Theirs does not catch like a normal trailer does.
Right.
You have a nut on top of theirs that you have to tighten up to lock in, and I wasn't aware of that. I have to in the back of my tailgate.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Now, the other thing that goes along with Crystal and Daryl, the other thing that goes along with hitching up is if you unhitch and you're camping somewhere or you're leaving your Avion unhitched anywhere. I mean, literally in your yard.
Oh yeah.
Dave can attest to some of this. That hitch has to get a really good lock put on it, because not only is obviously you don't want it stolen, but thieves nowadays, they know enough to know that a shiny or semi-shiny round aluminum trailer
It looks like an Airstream.
that looks like an Airstream is on eBay for $80,000-$90,000, and they don't know that yours isn't quite worth that much. And so they are very subject to be stolen.
Yeah.
So the
We
hitch
bought-
lock is super important.
I want to get a better one.
He's like crazy about lock doors, and
Yeah.
so he bought a lock kit. First off, I mean, we left it at this one place while we were waiting for the door to get fixed, and he was like, "I need to get this thing." I'm like, "Nobody's gonna take it."
I'm from London. There's still your shoes if you weren't tied on.
Yeah.
I'm like, it'll be fine.
We got
Like-
on our post. We did a nice post on
Yeah,
it.
we have on our blog, we have a really, I mean, we swear by, we can't use it anymore, but we swear by the Proven Industries, right?
I regret not buying that.
The puck lock. It's expensive,
Yeah.
but it's the last lock you'll need to buy.
I
Kevin,
want $200 or $250.
yep,
Yeah.
Did you sell yours at the rally?
we did.
Oh,
But it's really good. I did read about it. I bought one. It was cheaper. It's the yellow one, and really, I'm not convinced. But I just
No.
wanted to look like it
I
was a
got a
lock.
story.
Kevin's
Well,
got a story on that one.
It's the Master Lock yellow one.
Yeah.
Well, we had when I first had our 28 in storage, we went up in the spring and, well, I forgot the keys. I had the keys to the trailer, but the keys to the lock was on another thing. So had a hammer. About 2 blows, bam, with a 16-ounce hammer, came right off.
I was looking at it today. There's only about a millimeter of metal that actually catches
Yeah.
lock.
Like I said, 2 medium strikes and it was off. So didn't need
Yeah.
to bring key anymore.
You might be stronger than you think.
it was more like we to like maybe deter people that would maybe
I just thought
think
if they
about
see a
it.
bright, I think, oh, that's a lock. I won't bother. But you're right. I need to invest in
We
something.
need to get a definitely.
And the Progressive it's about a 1/4 inch thick steel and it's welded and it has
Yeah.
a puck lock and the lock keys on the bottom. So the thief
comes
doesn't
out-
want to get down in the muck and dirty himself. I mean, they're lazy, not like the old days.
Well, and you can also lock the chains
It's very important.
into that black metal sleeve, because even with a hitch lock, thieves can come and literally just pick it up by the chains.
And that's why you change across, your tongue will lay on it, and they'll just drive down the road to where they can get to fix it.
I even thought about getting this thing I saw on Amazon. It was $200. I didn't tell Crystal about this. It was $200, and it was a tracking device. It's like it could
people do it.
And you stick it somewhere under it. You know.
I mean, I think I'm fine with that eventually, but like right now, it's early in the game. Right now, we've put a lot of effort into it, and for a lot of.
Let's sleep next to it.
So secure it. Make sure, I mean, and again, even with that Proven Industries, okay, yes, it's a big investment, but it's not something you're going to have to replace every, 4,000 miles or anything like that. I mean, you'll have it for the life of your owning that trailer or another trailer.
I think
So
definitely.
the whole thing is for the person who's going to steal stuff to look at that and then move on to somebody else's who doesn't have that, or else has that yellow master one and takes a hammer to it. Or he's like, it's not worth their effort because they know it's not worth it.
Like I would be worried to like park it and then leave it there. Like that is my number one worry.
Yeah.
Evan and Louise, you got a Hensley now, right?
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an advantage in our case that you got to have the drawbar.
Yep.
Right. You got to have the right kind of stinger that fits in that front. Otherwise, you're not getting that thing, and that thing weighs
Daryl, I see
200 pounds alone.
Yeah.
I see your interested face. You'll have to Google Hensley hitch. It is not cheap, but they are awesome.
Oh, we had seen so many, we had read, and people on YouTube's had said, oh, hooking up the Hensley, it's really, you got to practice, and it's not that easy. First time, I wasn't even there. He backs right in, boop, right, puts the thing right in. I'm like, seriously? And only one time in this last trip, we had a little bit of adjusting to do. More my fault probably than anything, because I'm trying to like line it up. But anyway, we have found it extremely easy easier than lining up with the ball. By far.
Hensley.
I know. And the ride is, although we miss our We also, on our 28, we had
The Gen
the
Y.
Gen Y torsion hitch, which is, if you think of like, you know, a ship's gimbal, like a gimbal table will move. So like if you have a cup on it, the cup will like move with it.
Yeah.
So the Gen Y torsion hitch, which we didn't sell that. That took all that hard banging, like when you're on the highway, if you're on those concrete, you know, roads that kind of thing, or
So you're not.
the bigger.
It has rubber bars.
Yeah.
And your bar, square bar in here, rubber mounts here and here. So it flexes. So it's like on an Airstream or torsion axle system. So this section here with my ball on it goes up and down. So if I hit a pothole with the truck, the trailer stays up, then comes back up, then the trailer does it. So you're not pounding force back and forth. So it just goes boom, boom, back and forth like that.
Wow.
But the trailer didn't.
We understand. I got to turn this just because we understood from the last week where if we're not like directly opposite our speaker, my microphone isn't so good. People have relayed to us that, you know, when all these rigs were made, most of them were being towed by these big, huge, either station wagons, marquee Broams, you know, all these big, low slung. Sometimes they even had the extra dolly underneath, you know, like Lucille Ball and Desi's, you know, dolly that was underneath their trailer. But it was a much smoother ride. And some people will say that even like the real, the dual axle, big, heavy pickup trucks, they're actually really hard. They're so stiff riding that they're actually harder on the Avion's the frame and shell. And Chuck Kao was telling us that's why a lot of them in the front, right behind like where your batteries and your propane tanks are, if you look at where your frame goes in and you look at your skin and there's a track there, there's like a rub rail there, sometimes that's separated.
Oh, we have that.
Okay.
As is split.
We're gonna have to fix that. But that's because these things have been pounded and going 75 miles an hour down the highway. Guess that. And they just weren't designed. They're just not designed for that.
Yeah, this water got in. This,
yeah, we're gonna have to deal with water damage because.
Okay.
That's the good thing with the Expedition as well, is it has a relatively soft rear suspension.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, compared to a truck.
Right.
And so it rides actually really well. I watch the trailer when we're going down. There's some certain spots we're aware of that we travel across where the roads are just horrible, even though it's an interstate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll watch the trailer and just see what it's doing behind the Expedition. But the Expedition suspension is soft enough that we don't have that issue.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. I mean, these were, like I said, they were towed by these big, huge engine, beautiful, smooth riding, you know, sedan cars and, you know, Lincoln Town cars and Town and Country station wagons and stuff. And real smooth suspension compared to pickup trucks.
Yeah, our Silverado, we have a Silverado 1500 and it has a nice bounce with the trailer. It doesn't feel like that hard, like hitting.
Yeah.
Did you have to get a lower thing for your toe?
No, so it wasn't lower. But I mean, I guess I don't know if it was lower, but it's like I don't know. Like with the weight distribution, we actually have to like, it has to like kind of anchor the bars up to help pull the trailer up to get the back of the truck up. Like it's not. We're not high. We were low.
It depends on the year. It depends on the year of your Ford too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What year is your truck, Daryl?
2000.
It's 10-year-old. No, 10-year-old.
2003, I think.
Okay. So that's already a pretty low riding F-150 if it's not a 4-wheel drive.
I
The
think
brand new ones all the truck manufacturers now think you have to be looking eye to eye with the semi-truck drivers.
Yeah.
You can't even get into the bed of a modern F-150 hardly without a step ladder. It's ridiculous.
It's black. It's a black truck. I can tell you that.
Okay. Come back next week. Let us know what year. That's funny. It's a black truck. Okay.
Drives, right?
You'll find it in the parking lot.
Purchased we like
It's a four-wheel drive.
it was a trade, and it was I'm pretty sure it's a 4-wheel drive. We've only had it since the week that we got the Avion, so we don't even really
Okay.
it.
Right.
You get a pass.
You get
Yeah.
4-wheel drive is going to be a stiffer suspension than a 2-wheel drive too.
I
So
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's completely worn out.
Well, that's
It's actually crazy. When we went to take the tires, when it got to inspection, sorry, it's only done about 95,000 miles. And it's like, how was that? 16,
It's
17,
15 years
it's
old or something.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I want to hear more about your trips. I want to hear more about where you guys have
Oh,
been.
What do we need? Tell us what
What
we
do you
need.
need? Yes. So we've got like 15 minutes
Sounds
left.
great.
So I think if we all just kind of toss in some ideas on like, you know, the A list of what, like, don't leave home without it kind of stuff. And that's a tip too. If you do that first camping trip, not too far from home, if you forget something,
Yeah.
it's not too bad of a trip just to take a little buzz home in the truck and go get it, you know, because you're bound to forget something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so why don't we just kind of go round robin and everybody kind of toss in something for Crystal and Daryl to know that they should have kind of the A list of what they need before they leave home.
Okay, so you want us to start?
Yeah, Jeff and Cindy, yeah, you were the first ones in tonight. Go ahead.
All right, so I'll start off with just a couple of things that you want to make sure you have. One of the things you want to make sure you have is lots of sewer hose. Because if you're somewhere where you're going to have to hook up or where you want to hook up, there's a lot of times where you're too far away from the sewer connection in order to use just one standard 12 or 15 foot hose.
Mm-hmm.
So I always carry at least 2 hoses with me, and that seems to work really well. The other thing that I use is because the Avions don't have a built-in flush for the black tank, I have one of the clear plastic fittings that fit on the exit valve coming out of the Avion that has a flush valve in it. So I can hook a gray water hose that I also carry into that valve, and then I can flush water back into the tank and let it run out again. So I usually end up having to flush the tank 5 or 6 times to get everything out to where the water's running relatively clear after a camping trip.
You mean it's actually clear or just a separate?
You're going.
I'm sorry, you kind of broke up there. What was that?
Actually clear or just a hose clear water?
No, the thing
No,
is
the
clear.
thing itself is clear. The fitting is clear. And the reason that we have it that way is so that you can see the stuff that's coming out of the black tank.
Okay.
You want to be able to actually see it
No,
and
it's clean.
see when you're not getting a lot of big chunks and everything out of there.
Okay, good to know.
Make sure you have a separate drinking water hose from your hose that you use for your sewer water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
They come in
you'll
different
wanna-
colors. So get a gray hose for your gray water
Yep.
and a blue hose or a white hose. But
Or
blue is nice because you think of, you know, crystal blue Poland Springs water, you know, that kind of thing. It kind of helps you remember gray for gray tank, blue for drinking water.
They actually make the fabric hoses now for drinking water that are bacteria
We
resistant.
bought one.
Yeah,
We
we did
did at
too
the
because
rally.
yeah.
It's awesome.
You ever go camping in the cold with a regular garden hose or a regular water hose and you go to put it away after the fact, the thing, it's very hard to wrap it up in a small enough bundle to put it back where you got out from.
Yeah.
But the fabric hoses are great for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
I have a An
And
extension.
those little zero, what is it? Isn't it called zero hose or something like that? Oh my gosh. I mean, talk about space saving. It
Yeah.
takes up no room.
Yeah.
It's like a pound versus, 4 or 5 pounds of weight. The only thing we found was that, first of all, it looks like a snake on the ground. So, it's a little weird because it's got like a skin to it that looks almost like a snake. But because at least now they're only making them in black, that water really heats up in there.
I have a dark blue one.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. Dark
But
blue is a
still,
whole lot different.
But
But
still, you get hot water.
Yeah.
yeah. So my point is, you got, if you're gonna fill up, a glass of water or something to drink straight out of the tap, let it run a little bit because that first bunch will be like great for dishes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Dave, how about you?
All the hoses.
Propane.
Propane.
Yeah.
That helps.
That's a
I
good
mean,
one.
you chuckle if you haven't checked it out or don't know what you got.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
You tended to check them before you leave, then, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
How long does it last?
depends on what you're using.
Yeah.
How big are your tank?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm probably the year-round guy, but I use mine for heat in the wintertime. I could probably get
A week.
out of both tanks together. That's when I
Okay.
had Kevin and Louise's trailer.
So like, you're not going to get more than 7 days out of those tanks.
Not in the wintertime.
Not in the winter with
using
the
it
furnace.
hot
So it's
water
running the heater too.
and heat.
Yeah. Now, in comparison, if we were just using ours in the summer for camping, weekends or week long or whatever, just using it for, if we needed to for the refrigerator and then for, hot water and stove, that can last, those 2 tanks can last us a whole season.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah. The furnace is
Well,
a gobble.
we live in Texas. It's hot here, so we won't be doing much like winter.
Yeah, that's
Is it important to empty them when you're done? I mean, that might sound really dumb, but do you have to use it up before you store it, or can you just leave them stored?
Propane, no.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Just leave them.
Okay.
Okay.
Just close it off when you're done for the season.
Yeah.
Okay, and you just pick it up next time.
But you
Okay.
will
Great.
want to, especially if yours was sitting any length of time and things too, from a safety standpoint, you're going to want to check all those propane hoses, make sure there's no cracks.
Right, guys,
There's
check
a
it.
simple little leak kit you can buy to, and there's videos on, how to check for propane
Where I took
leaks.
it today, he's going to do like a thorough
We
Oh,
saw
good.
that
inspection.
every year before we go back
Yeah, he did say
to
that.
the season.
Yeah, every year, yeah.
I mean, I would like to think I know how to do it, but I would blow my family up.
And
Maybe one day I'll feel
So hoses,
confident checking it
propane.
myself. Okay. What else?
I
Yeah,
have a suggestion.
yeah,
Sure.
Jan.
My suggestion is to have an extra extension cord. We found that out. You get all parked, you get all set up, you get all unhooked, and then you get your cord out and you go to the electrical box, and guess what? You're about this much too short.
Oh, no.
to make
Oh,
it.
no.
Yeah. So yeah, an extra
Outdoor
extension
electric
cord's a
cord.
great idea.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah, and
Russ.
I recommend even like an actual 30 amp extension cord, like a camper extension cord, not
Yes.
just like a.
Oh
thin
yeah,
one.
not a household one, a
Yeah,
regular.
no,
propane.
not
Right.
household.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So
no.
it needs to be a camper grade, not
Yes.
outdoor grade.
It's that different
No, an actual
RV.
RV,
plug.
Okay.
usually yellow with the black plug-in kind of thing, yeah, an RV one, 30
You
amp.
also have the adapters that you get
Can
there.
marry
If you
them
don't
together.
have a 30 amp cord on your trailer, you may need a 50 amp adapter to make the connection.
Mhm.
Most people
Wow.
don't.
Yeah, so you can get adapters that do like 20 to 30, 30 to 50.
Right.
Yeah.
We use the 20 to 30 to plug into our house when we want to put the fridge on, but yet we use the 30 to 50 when we're on a 50 amp site.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
just have both adapters then.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
both of those things too. We
They're
use
called dog
Dog
bones.
bones.
Yeah.
Just tell the RV place you need a dog. You need dog bones.
Dog bones. Is that a
They'll
joke?
know.
Is that a joke? He's
No.
stupid in a shop. Asking for dog.
Yeah, because sometimes, I mean, if you're going to a campground, there may be places where, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but where there's only, let's say the only campsite left is a 50 amp, and you've got a 30. So you use that step down connector to take it from a 50 to a 30, and then plug it into the cord that connects to your trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your
I
black
think
cord.
Cassie's going to give us an explanation here. Are you digging?
I am
Cassie.
trying to find our connection piece here a minute.
It's good to have a couple of those,
Sorry,
like
it's
Sandra
probably
said.
noisy. I should mute it.
A few, yeah, there you go.
Mine right now, so I'm not unplugging.
A few different, different setups like that. And Jan, that is an excellent, that happened to us, our first tin can tourist that we went to out at Sampson State Park out in the Finger Lakes. I don't know what they were thinking, but there was no way and we had a longer cord. We had when we first had ours all serviced, our 28, we actually had purposefully put in a little bit longer brand new cord, and it still wasn't long enough. If you have the round, which you should, on the 75 Travelcade, if you have the round bumper,
The metal bumper.
the
in
metal
back,
bumper, that's hollow.
And I always put another 30 amp cord, 30 foot in there, work it in, because originally it was for your sewer hose, but they don't fit there anymore. It's only 3
They
inches.
don't fit. That doesn't fit. I've got that bumper with that little, the compartment in there. That doesn't fit in there, and we're still going, how are we going to carry
That's what
this?
I did on our 73,
this
is put
hose?
the 30 foot extension cord in there.
Yeah.
To marry that up.
Yeah, we actually still have a hose in our bumper.
Yeah.
You have a hose in your
Yes,
bumper?
they do.
Yeah, don't use that.
Yeah.
Throw that out.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
clear
make a good
end won't fit.
video.
Chances are that is so dry rotted that it'll look like a sprinkler coming out when you try to use that.
All right. So
Okay,
this
so
is the-
Cassandra's
There we
got
go.
her set up there.
So this is the extension power cord. Your trailer cord goes into here. Then you've got your extension for your 30 amp, like actual extension. But then we also use these.
Yep.
To be able to plug into a typical plug, like outside of our garage, to plug it in. That just is like another little adapter that we can use that extension cord to plug into that plug.
Yeah.
These are like $2.99 at Walmart and Meijer. These little.
Right.
Where do you keep
adapters?
these extra pieces? Where do you keep them?
Right
Oh, in the
there.
little hole.
So he has like a whole like box
No.
system here where everything in this cabinet has like all of our cords and stuff go into H boxes.
Mm.
Okay, so my thing to bring along, we like the leveling blocks. I know everybody's got different opinions. We like the leveling blocks for leveling out.
We
Yeah,
use
we have those and we don't use them.
Yeah.
You don't or do?
We don't use them. We have them. We don't use them.
So wheel chocks and leveling blocks are my
Yeah, wheel chop.
my input to.
Tires there.
Yeah, you definitely want.
Yes,
you
you
definitely
have to-
want wheel chocks. The
Yeah.
first time
Yes.
you unhook your trailer on a slight downhill backwards without wheel chocks, you'll understand why you want wheel chocks.
Yeah.
This is the other thing you need.
To roll away.
Cord.
Oh,
A
there you
bungee
go.
cord.
Yeah.
I
keep
don't know if yours has a lock, but it's highly recommended to have like a deadbolt lock.
Yeah.
We deadbolt lock and we bungee cord. We are kind of anal about losing things. We actually also zip tie
That's a
because
No, that's a good idea.
we've just had some issues. So like we zip tie into the
Mm-hmm.
the thing that holds that together, and we put one here.
Yep.
We don't have a clip for our step, so we just zip tie that up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I was going to show you is we bought these little clips. I don't know if you can see them here. On any hooks, there's like a little tiny clip that I bought.
Oh.
So, and I can show you better over here. So these latches pop
Yep.
out on ours a little bit. So we just bought little hooks that I bought online.
Yeah.
They actually have keychains on
Right.
them
Yeah,
that we
Easy.
just clip into these.
we
That's
did
great.
that on ours too. Now,
I bought a little 4 padlock set that one key opens all 4 padlocks, and I padlock all of those things.
hmm
Cassie, I have a question.
Yeah.
So your little stowaway area, we have a similar version of that, but it is not watertight.
no,
Is yours
they won't be.
watertight?
They won't be.
So this, hold on, let me turn on.
The area where you had it and you were storing, what are you doing to keep it's not watertight? What are you doing to keep it from getting
It was the other side.
the
I think.
other side, on the other side?
Oh yeah, this is watertight. There's no water that goes in there. So there's a railing that goes above it.
Mm,
Yeah, we don't have that.
We don't have that.
no.
This door was flung off. This is actually a rebuild door. My aunt and uncle lost this door over Mackinac Island Bridge, or not Mackinac, like up by Mackinac, going across the bridge to the UP. This door flew off. So this was rebuilt by Ko, whatever you want to say. And I think that he added on this channel locking because you can see it doesn't seem to be original. It looks like they riveted on after the fact.
Yeah.
But this floor underneath here is completely solid. And there's no water in here.
That is a notorious leak spot because
Yeah.
they were not made with that gutter across the top. So if you have that guy in your area that's working on your travel cave now, if he can do some aluminum bending, it would be really advisable to have him rivet a gutter like that on the top.
Or just
Yeah,
have
for
it
sure.
sealed.
Or like ours, which is
Children.
hermetically
Bingo.
sealed shut. It's the door to nowhere.
You'll see though too
Yes,
that
it goes underneath the bed, and you can tell there's been water in
Yeah.
there. So, but
So the other leak spot we had in our camper was, I'll quick show you while you're talking about the aluminum channels. This channel here over our door, I'm assuming you have that.
Yes.
But this is actually a second door. This whole panel here is a second door for ours because it was custom cut in. And so what was happening is it was pouring down here into here, and then our entire front floor was rotted out.
Oh.
Never seen that.
Ours is right out. Yeah.
ours is the same.
Harley.
It's got an old patch there right at the door.
Yeah.
Right at the door. So we
Yeah.
didn't hold up the carpet.
KO told us about your double door. He told us about that and said the people that previously owned it used to put a Harley in there.
Yep.
My aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's why
Yeah.
they needed that extra door cut in there.
Yep.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So you can actually use it as a door still?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of like a French door, like one you can keep
Yeah, yeah,
bolted shut and the other one can swing open, but if you want them to both swing open, they can. Yeah, she gets a lot of great crosswind when she has both those open.
Okay, so that was my recommendation was leveling things in wheel trucks.
Okay.
We always bring an outdoor mat,
Mhm.
just because I don't like everything trucking inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great.
That's where
And we bring an extra honey wagon along when we're not on full hookup if we're going to be staying somewhere long term.
honey wagon. What does that mean? Their car?
Nope.
The little blue
It's like a
trailer.
little blue trailer that you can put your stuff in.
It's
and put down.
basically a portable black tank on wheels.
A portable black. Oh,
So if you fill your black tank with sewerage,
okay.
you can empty
My
it into
husband
that
says
portable
no.
one and tow it to
Uh-huh.
the dump station in the campground and dump it out. And if you don't have a septic hookup, a sewer hookup at your campsite.
Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah,
there's the double
we bought
door.
one this year too.
How cool
There
is
we
that?
go. With her doors
There's a
open.
double door. Before we bought it, it was a couch, and that couch could actually flip up. And my uncle would just put a ramp up and run his Harley up in there, and he had those floor things that you have in cargo trailers to, like, what do you call those, tie downs.
Oh, yeah.
Since then, don't mind my mess under here, but since then we've built a platform bed in here with like a big memory foam mattress. that we used for all under storage under here.
With a
But
Harley.
yeah, so this is
Yeah.
how he cut it in.
Wow.
He did an incredible job with it. It just hooks onto these two latches to tie it back in. You lift this up and you just tighten those down.
Huh.
That's like
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is you can see the outside of where he cut the wall.
Wow.
And then
KO
just
did
added
that,
a
right?
hinge. Yep, KO did
Yeah.
that. And then he added 2 hinges here.
Wow.
That's what I
Can
said.
you hear my doorbell?
Yeah, she has a doorbell.
I know, right? Oh, you have a doorbell.
Oh, man.
That's fancy.
Yeah.
Have a doorbell. That's
Yeah,
not
and-
camping.
And as Cassie said too, that there's a lot of variety of the not the chocks. I mean, the chocks you're absolutely going to need to have, and you want 4 of them. So you have 1 in front of each tire set and 1 behind each tire set. But the leveling blocks, there's a lot of variety there. So, you know, go on YouTube, search various, I'm going to just mute her until she's done there. Search various YouTube, you know, channels and see there's, you know, how to use the stacks, I call them bricks. We have a blog post on the Anderson levelers, which is more of a rounded scoop thing you drive up onto, and you can adjust your height that way. There's a lot of different varieties, but Jan, I want to hear how in the world you get away with not, I mean, you must go to campgrounds that are perfectly level. Because if you don't have your camper, just for Daryl and Crystal's standpoint, if you don't have your camper perfectly level, you can ruin your refrigerator.
We used them on the 5th wheel. Dick never liked them, so they're still in the 5th wheel over there. He's still the guy that wants to go on boards. He still wants to drive up on boards. Yep.
Okay.
He just said, yep. He's just more comfortable with driving on the boards. So
Yeah.
that's why.
A lot of people do that. They just use boards. Yep.
Yep.
We used to do that.
Yep. I had
We
2
use
buys.
boards with our
Very
Class A.
cheap anyway.
Yep. I had 2 buys and 1 buys, and I even had some Luan if I needed just that last 1/4 of an inch of height adjustment.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's that. He's a board guy. You got the back of the truck. He wants his boards.
Yeah, they work. So
My one last recommendation for things is tools. Just bring tools, because the first few trips you're going to go on, things are going to break. Things aren't going to work perfectly. We've had our camper for 3 years, and the first summer Matt was ready to sell this thing because every trip we went on, it was something else. Like the black water tank started leaking, and then the gray water tank started leaking, and then something else started. But like now our trailer is like a brand new trailer. I mean, we have, you know, things fixed over the course of a few years. It takes time. It's not going to be immediate before you get everything done. But these trailers hold up very well over long term once you fix some of the things that start to go bad. I mean, we're original air conditioner, original stove. We have like a lot of original pieces still. But we also had to like help fix some things. I mean, you're going to have some things that don't work the first few trips. So bring your tools. We actually had a leak this trip. We found a nice leak in our vents.
We have one in the bathroom vent.
Which is why that green towel was down, because it had been drying out from our lovely, it rained. We got 1.5 inches of rain this past weekend where we were camping.
Oh.
And all of a sudden I looked up and I was like, huh. And then Matt's like, oh yeah, I never sealed that vent. And that's the first time in 3 years it decided to leak.
Yep. Yeah, and the funny thing about these trailers too is we developed a small leak this trip out in the front corner of the front window.
yeah.
And it sometimes if you just change your level by a couple of degrees, all of a sudden a leak will pop up somewhere where you never noticed it before. Because now water is running a slightly different pattern than it was before.
We
And
have
so
a leak.
you'll chase things for a while.
We have a leak above the kids' beds. And depending on what way we're leaning, it either leaks on Kenley's bed or Braxton's bed. So we know
Yeah.
it's a roof leak because depending on what direction we are, and also even front to back, it's either the front of their bed or the back of their beds that are wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think ours is our
Yes.
TV
So it's
antenna
coming-
that we have to take out, but
Is that what it is? Is it
Coming
coming
from
through the
roof,
window
top
or
of
through the roof?
It's moving
I
different
think
ways.
it's through the roof because it's going to either way. I think we really think it's our TV antenna. People have really tried to like caulk it full of junk, and it's just not easily sealable. Matt's tried a couple times. We're actually going to take it out this summer and patch it, and put an aluminum patch on there and just take it out. We don't use the antenna. We don't have a TV, so this is our
Dave-
long-term trailer. We're going to take it out.
Dave, you had issues with the antenna on ours, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The cable on the roof is where the water came in. And on yours now, you have a patch plate with the coax cable
Mm-hmm.
with eternal bond on it. So that's not going to ever be a problem again. But that leaked into your pantry on yours, which rotted out the floor above the furnace in the chipboard. But yeah, it took me a while to find that leak as far as little water hose. And now I'm getting to do it again on this one. I'm getting, well, for you don't know, I'm in North Carolina and I just got greeted by that tropical storm.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
For my friend Dana's behind me here. I'm retired, Dave.
Hello. Thank you for giving up your 32S.
He's like, he upgraded. He got to the 34 now, right? So
Yeah, a little more storage.
I got one window leaking. I've got to check that out. I haven't finished doing my ceiling yet, my roof yet, because I'm still waiting for parts to show up. I was kind of hoping to do it all at once, not in piecemeal, but I may wind up there. I'll see how it plays.
Okay. Well, and I think we're at about almost 9:15. So some key, just some wrap up points, especially for Crystal and Daryl. They're just getting started. The chocks,
Well, appreciate you.
leveling blocks,
Hoses.
surge protector. We didn't mention that. That might be a whole nother talk. Surge protector. You do need a surge protector. Otherwise, some campgrounds, their electrical systems are not good, and you can plug in your precious Avion and it can fry all your wires. So, and then extension, an RV extension cord on top of what you've got connected to the trailer. And an extension for your sewer hose.
Extra hoses.
Yep. There's a lot of different brands. We happen to use the Rhino Deluxe because our feeling is we'd rather buy something one time and it lasts a lot longer than a bunch of cheap ones and have to replace it, every year. So,
Evan, did you have to go get did you have to go get another extender at the rally?
we did because we forgot ours, but we were 14 and a half hours from home. So I went to Walmart and bought one. Yeah.
God for Walmart.
We did.
Well, thank you again for everyone sharing their information.
You're welcome.
Great advice.
And also, Crystal and Daryl, if you want to shoot me either an instant message through Facebook or just go to our blog and email me. When we sold our 73, this was their first experience with trailering too. And so I put together a PDF that just kind of goes through like the order of the steps.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
What you got to do, and I'm happy to email that to you. It'll be
we would love that.
Enough, to what it'll work for you. It's generic enough. It'll work for you.
We've never hooked up to anything, so we don't know anything about anything.
Yeah.
We are like
Hey,
super
we've all
green,
been there.
super green.
We're all in that position at one point.
I felt
That's
bad
right.
because we kind of got wrapped up in. I know there's been a ton of people during COVID and lockdown, like, oh, we're going to buy a camper, but we've been wanting to do it for a long time.
Yeah.
And then we finally did it, you know, and
Good.
and then I know there's all these people that are probably going to just be in and out. You know what I mean? They'll probably be burnt out.
I know, like we were like he wanted to get a bus and convert it, and I was like, can we not do that?
So
That's
anyway,
it's on our list of to-dos yet.
Yeah. I was like, can we just get an actual trailer? And then we found this one, and I was just like, we have
Yeah.
to buy it. We have to.
so no, I'd love that PDF. That sounds like a great
Yeah, we
idea.
need all the help we can get. So,
Yeah.
and I will take all the advice and please, and I love anything printed out because I will follow the directions like a crazy person.
Okay.
So,
You will.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thanks for hosting.
Slow but sure, we went from 2 to 4. The Harveys have been loyal, they're loyal gang there. But we went from 2 to 3 to 4 to 7. So that's
Congrats.
pretty cool. We'll get there. And somebody chimed in at 9 o'clock, but I booted them back to the waiting room because I
Yeah,
asked
too.
them to rename themselves. I can't figure out who it is, so I'm not letting them in.
Sorry about
Have a
it.
good night, everyone.
Oh, we'll see you next week.
All right, take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right.